Hi everybody, Ellen here. Today I am going to talk about the top 7 or technically 8 I suppose books that I want to read during 2019. I always try to make a list like this and usually it does not go very well with me, ending up finishing them. But this year I'm really going to try hard to actually finish these books, so we'll see how it goes. But yeah, let's get into the books. First book, that technically is 2 books, but I will count them as one because it will make sense when I explain it. But it is The Way of Kings, and this is part 1 and part 2, and as always they're gorgeous covers. But are the UK covers, I believe, and they have actually decided to split up the book into 2 books instead of one. So this book is actually a behemoth if put together. So I'm just gonna count this one as one book when it comes to this list, because I want to get to the full story. But I freaking love this cover so much. No, but this is Brandon Sanderson. I haven't read this series before, and at this point I have pretty much read almost everything else. I have like 5 books left or something by him to read, and I love his books so much, and he never disappoints me. And I really want to read this series, and I've been wanting to read it for such a long time now, and I need to get to it. And hopefully I will enjoy these books as well. I don't really know a lot about this series, to be honest, but I know there's a lot of magic and mysteries and war, as in always in Brandon Sanderson's books. But I wanna read about the magic and the mysteries and everything. I'm so hyped about these books, if you do not understand. And now we come to another pretty chunky book, and that is The Way of Shadows by Brent Weeks. This I really don't know a lot about either. I feel like I'm very prepared for this, but I do know that this is about assassins, and that's a trope that I definitely like and definitely can get behind of. So I really hope that I will like this one. Quite chunky, but I mean, it's small, so maybe it will make me not scare as easily for it, but we'll see how it goes. And then we have Vengeful by V.E. Schwab. This is the second book about the vicious duology, but I don't really know what it's called or how many books it's supposed to be. I think it's supposed to be a duology. But in the first book we meet Victor and Eli, and they try to figure out how you become an EO, extraordinary, and with that I mean that like a human with sort of superpowers kind of. And they're supposed to do this for this sort of college essay, but they actually end up figuring out how to become an EO, and they actually do become EOs themselves. And we get to follow them 10 years later, and they're sort of bitter enemies, and they're on like different sides of good and evil, even though there's no actual good or evil because it's sort of gray at this point. But I really did enjoy it. The first book is not my favorite V.E. Schwab book, not at all, but I really did enjoy it, and I thought it was a cool concept, and hopefully book 2 will deliver. And then we have The Darkest Legacy by Alexandra Bracken. The first book we meet Ruby, and she actually has also powers, which is sort of a thing with this video, I guess. But she has these powers, and there's a lot of kids that have powers actually, and they're sort of categorized into different colors depending on like how dangerous they are. There was actually this disease going through the US, and the kids that survived actually ended up with these powers, and they sort of get put into these sort of camps. And this one we're supposed to follow this girl named Sue, which we actually do meet in the original Darkest Minds trilogy, which I loved, and Sue was one of my favorite characters in that trilogy, so I really want to read this one. And I think this takes place 5 years later, and I want to find out what happens, because I feel like the third book was sort of a satisfying ending, so I don't really know what she's going to continue on with the story, but I'm definitely interested to find out. Now we have A Crown for Cold Silver by Alex Marshall, and I don't really know a lot about this one. I heard Piera Forde from her channel talking about this series, and she really did enjoy it, but that's pretty much all I know. But there's sort of a there was a war 20 years ago, and there was a lot of battles, and this general called Cobalt Sosia actually faked her own death to get away from it all and, you know, give her up her legend and, you know, become history. But now when there's, you know, danger sort of threatening her village, she actually has to step up and take care of shit again, and it just sounds really cool. Heard great things about it, and I really do want to read it. And then we have a book that I know a lot of people have read, but I still haven't. But that is The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. I know this is one of the series that you're technically not supposed to start because it's not finished yet. Book 3 is still not out after years and years and years, and I should not do this to myself since I'm still waiting for Winds of Winter by George R. R. Martin to come out. But, you know, I can't wait anymore. I really want to know what the fuss is all about. I mean, the synopsis of this book really doesn't say a lot, so I don't really know what it's about. But I know that the main character was expelled from the university, and I think there's something about magic. I really have no idea. But, you know, I guess the name sold this book for me, so we'll figure out what it's all about. And then the last book I have to talk about today is Invictus by Ryan Graudin, and this one is sort of time travel, and I know that they time travel back to the Titanic, and, you know, it's the have to save the world and everything without losing what you hold the dearest, and that's all I know because it really doesn't say a lot more on the back. But I really do hope you enjoyed this one. I haven't read anything by Ryan Graudin before, but, you know, I might like it, so I'm gonna give it a shot because I've had it for a long time now, so I need to get on to it. But yeah, those were these 7 and technically 8 books, I guess, that I want to read this year, and I'm actually going to freaking do it this year because I'm not gonna have another wrap-up video of this list saying that I did not make it, because that's what I do with TBR kind of things. But I am going to do it. I have 365 days to do it. I'm going to do it. It's not that many books, so I'm gonna make it. But yeah, if you have read any of these books, please let me know down in the comments what you thought about them, without spoiling, of course. And if you like this video, please don't forget to give me some thumbs up, and also don't forget to subscribe to my channel by clicking the little button down below. And yeah, I hope we see each other next time. Bye.